Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Today I have some of the new Ubiquiti AI Theta cameras. For those that you don't know about these are the kind of hidden cameras that Ubiquiti are currently working on. These are the first in this series as far as I'm aware. These came up early access maybe a month or so now, or longer actually, can't quite remember. It's been a while now. These have been sitting on my floor for a little bit because I haven't had time to install them. But the reason why I picked these up, I already actually have some of the AI 360 cameras in the ceiling already. And while they're okay, they're only 1080p resolution and they're black and they kind of sit down like UFOs, a bit like the Ubiquiti access points. But the Ubiquiti access points are white and they kind of blend in with the white ceiling, which my entire house is basically white. Whereas you have these black hockey pucks, pretty large hockey pucks sticking in from the ceiling, so they're kind of a little bit of a ceiling wart, which I want to kind of remove and go for something a bit more sleek. And then kind of literally annoyingly, about a month or two after installing those, they announced these. I'm like, oh, of course they just announced these, just as I just spent a bunch of money on those 360 cameras. So I'm going to unbox these today. Let's start getting into that. On your left, we have this. This is the main module, and as you can see here, we got the little module that they have. Which is the kind of the brains of the unit, and then they have a camera effectively on a long cable. So we're going to see how long that cable is, and then just see how it all plugs together. I'm going to have a longer video coming for actually installing these and then doing a comparison against the 360 cameras that I have installed, because these are meant to be higher resolution from what I understand. Oh, this is going to go on the floor. So let's pull that open. Oh, it's bigger than I actually anticipated it being. Here's a floppy disk for those guys that remember. Obviously this is a silicon, but this is how big a floppy disk used to be, to give you a comparison for those older members in the audience. And there's a MacBook Pro charger there for example. So you've got two lenses that it comes with. So you've got the fisheye, and then you've got your longer throw camera. So I'm going to be using these fisheye lenses because that's what I'm going to be. They're going to be in my ceiling, and they're pointing down, and they get a really big area. So there's one kind of covering my kitchen and dining room, and there's kind of one on the corner where I can see the front door and my living area. And there's two more. There's one upstairs and there's one by the back door. PoE in. So obviously, like a lot of the not obviously, it's not fair, but like pretty much all the Ubiquiti hardware is PoE, minus something like, which is their G4 instant cameras, which are the wireless ones. They're not PoE. It'd be nice if they had like a PoE adapter, because they're kind of cute to just kind of sit in a corner of a room. So PoE in, that plugs into your network switch, gets power and data through here. This thing is heavy. It's solid, and that's actually made out of metal as well. So to be fair, this is kind of pretty rugged. It's kind of an interesting bracket on the back of this as well. So the other side of this, obviously got a reset button there. On the other side of this we have, I'm guessing that's where the camera plugs in, which is the green, and then which is the green and like a USB-C cable. My nails aren't quite long enough to kind of get under that little, oh, I didn't lose it. So another USB-C, interesting. So I'm gonna guess that this one's the camera and this one's the speaker. We'll find out. Oh, a little quick start guide, PoE in, and then a QR code there. Stay tuned, I'm gonna have a installation video of it going in my ceiling, then do a comparison against the 360 cameras. But I guess if you wanna try and mount it on the wall, they have the little spirit level included, and there's the two holes to drill into your wall, but mine's gonna sit in my ceiling. Oh, and it's a little mounting bracket, so that makes more sense now, I guess. Oh, I see. So on the back of here, this hooks into there, and that's a little latch, so it's kind of like clips down. Hopefully, oh, yep. Oh great, now I need to stick a thing in there to undo it. I was debating whether I do that or not. So it's saying the hole is a 29mm hole, or a 1 1/8? So a 1 or 1/8 inch if you're for the US people, but for the Europeans it's 29mm, or the rest of the world to be fair, sorry. And then you can pick your fisheye lens or the wide angle lens. Interesting. So how wide angle is the wide angle lens and how fisheye is the fisheye lens? I guess stay tuned for that. I guess I'll try both and I'll see how they turn out. They got the cable. Now I thought this was going to be longer because the idea is you're meant to be able to put this quite far away from the unit. These are the little, has two of these interestingly. I'm not quite sure why it's got two. These look identical to me, unless you guys can see something different. So there's 2 of those. On the back of this, I guess, to keep it stuck into the hole, it's got like, I'm going to take this off now because I want to make sure it does stick, but you create the hole and you actually shove this through, and then it's got a sticky back side on this to, I guess, hold it to the ceiling or the wall. Because I guess, yeah, if this is in the ceiling, there is a thread on here you can see. But I guess if you can't get to the other side of it to like thread it down, then you're not going to be able to, I guess you need the stickiness to keep it to the ceiling so it doesn't fall out. We'll see how well that works. That makes more sense. Okay, yeah. So that's if you can't get to the other side. So this, obviously, cut a hole. Ideally, you can get to the side of the drywall or the sheetrock or whatever you're doing, and then you would tighten this down nice and tight. But I guess if you can't do that, that's why they have the sticky silicone there, which is a nice little touch. I wouldn't, you know, if I developed this, I probably would have forgotten about that and not thought about it and be like, oh, I've got some screws here. I'll be honest with you, whenever mounting this stuff, I like never use their hardware. I always use my own hardware, mounting brackets and stuff, because it, I find their raw plugs and stuff are never long enough and they never hold. So I want to make sure. Here's a little mounting, here's a little like L bracket thing to take this back off. So I'm assuming you shove that down there. Oh yeah, comes off nicely. Oh, okay, no, they thought about this. So that end's green. This end is green. Interesting. Oh, there we go. 3 for you probably if you include the connector to the end of the connector. So that's a little bit disappointing. I thought this cable would be longer. Makes you wonder if this is a USB-C spec cable, can I just use a really long USB-C cable to say if I wanted to, you know, put this in the corner and then just throw a USB-C cable through the wall or through the ceiling. But let's be honest, Ethernet cable's cheaper and runs longer than USB-C cables, so I don't know why you do that anyway. I guess just if you couldn't fit this in the ceiling, but you could fit the camera in the ceiling and the cable. Oh, I just realized on the box here, because I'm an idiot, it actually says under here how hard it is to see. It says that's a wide angle lens and that's the fisheye lens. So I'm gonna just try this wide angle lens. So look how small this module is. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, you know, like the camera in the phone here is obviously, you know, a fraction that fits inside a phone, right? So it's pretty small. All right, very cool. So I have one gripe with calling this stuff AI. It's ML, it's machine learning, and I'm a software engineer by trade. So when someone says AI, I'm like, no. AI is like, you know, freaking robots in iRobot, or like, you know, classic, they're coming after you, they can think for themselves. This is machine learning. So the reason why they call these their AI units, and the reason it's called like AI Theta, I don't know why the name Theta, I don't know. But the reason why they call this AI line of units is because there's, as far as I'm aware, the processing chips in these, the compute units they have on those are using, actually have dedicated machine learning cores on them. So they've trained a model to detect things like people, pets, and for like outside places like license plates and cars. Because they have dedicated cores on these, the detection is much more accurate and much more quicker. Now, you can also do machine learning on any CPU or any processor with kind of any camera, but like it's the accuracy and the speed are severely slower when you don't have that dedicated compute unit. So that's why the AI line of cameras are much more expensive, because they're generally using probably a slightly larger sensor to get kind of a higher density of pixels to try and have a better resolution on it, and also having a much more hardware which does processing on the unit versus, say, in the cloud or on your UNVR. And also it should be much quicker, because if it processes the event here, sends it to UNVR, there's no like up to the cloud and then back to your phone, and it has to send the video up and upload the video and then process it. All that stuff's done. Like, it's processed the event, it sends it to UNVR, and that's gone straight to you, versus having to go through that whole big loop of streaming video. So this is the speaker, but by default, that's just a camera. There's no audio, there's no microphone, and there's no speaker. So it's just camera. So they sell a separate, oh wow, this is way smaller than I thought it was going to be. So they sell this separate speaker that goes with it. And it's just a speaker and a microphone, just to make sure. So if you want microphone, and as you can see, there's no hole or anything, so there's no microphone in this unit. So if you want sound on these cameras, which I don't need, but it's useful, you have to buy these Theta cameras, and these are kind of pretty cute. So the disadvantage is I now have to punch 2 holes in my ceiling, but these are going to be really, really flush, right? You know, I already have smoke detectors and lights and access points and stuff. So these being there flush with the ceiling are going to be basically noticeable. So So that's really cool. That's way smaller than I thought it was going to be. So the microphone and speaker is in this, and I don't know if I can take, yeah, I don't want to pull this apart. These are hard to get hold of, so I don't want to destroy this unit, but there should be a microphone in this as well, and a speaker in there. We have the cable, we have the little ring to go on the back of that, and this is the same deal. It has that silicone ring with a sticker, like a sticky silicone ring that you can stick to the ceiling in case you can't get that thread on. Blue there, and blue there, which means this probably is just a standard USB-C cable. Makes me wonder why this one is, makes me wonder why this one's color coded then. Like, why does it have to be green to green and purple to purple? So I just double checked the resolution on these. So this is a 4K camera. So that should hopefully have a much better picture quality. I'm gonna be really interested to see how it compares to the 360 cameras. There's 2 lenses, and they actually have different sensors in them based on the lens. So it's interesting how they're shipping 2 of these with this. They're just kind of, there's added cost there. You would think you'd pick when you order the unit, or you'd order the module and then the unit separately. The wide angle is an 8 megapixel CMOS sensor at basically 4K, and the 360 is a 12 megapixel CMOS sensor. And then, yeah, and these things have an A53 ARM chip in them, which is not a cheap ARM processing chip. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.